6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The President says that the Northern Province will undergo complete development in the next 5 years under a comprehensive plan. Sri Lanka's official reserve assets increased by 23.2% in December last year. Japan's Finance Minister to visit Sri Lanka next week. Measles vaccine extra dose jabbed in 9 districts today. State Minister of Power and Energy affirms on electricity bill reduction in February. Navy seizes trawler with over 245 kilograms of heroin, eyes valued over 3,190 million rupees. Foreign news, Supreme Court to rule if Trump can run for president. In sports, Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe ODI series begins today. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized the imperative for the full development of the Northern Province in the next 5 years under a unified plan, highlighting the Western Province's pivotal role, contributing over 50% to the country's economy and currently serving as the primary engine. The President asserted the commitment to strengthen the nation's economy through 5 main engines encompassing the South, North, Central Province and the Northwest. President Ranil Wickremesinghe conveyed these directives during his participation in the Special District Coordination Committee meeting for Vavuniya, Mullaitivu and Mana districts, which convened yesterday at the Vavuniya District Cultural Hall. Extensive discussions were conducted on the challenges in the domains of education, health, resettlement, land, electricity, water, tourism, forestry and fisheries in the districts of Vavuniya, Mana and Mullaitivu. The President actively engaged in addressing some of these issues by working towards effective solutions. Furthermore, the President highlighted the strategic vision of transform Colombo, Kandy and the Northern Province as 3 main centres of education in the country, emphasizing a focused efforts to enhance educational development in Sri Lanka. During his official 4-day visit to the Northern Province, President Ranil Wickremesinghe paid a visit to the Poonreen area yesterday. As part of the visit, the President participated in a discussion at the Poonreen Divisional Secretariat to assess the Poonreen Town Hall Development Plan presented by the Urban Development Authority. In the 2024 budget, the Urban Development Authority was allocated 500 million rupees for the development of the Poonreen city. President Wickremesinghe instructed officials to promptly implement the design development activities. Additionally, he emphasized the need for special attention to be given to promoting the tourism sector and enhancing the infrastructure required for renewable energy generation projects. Subsequently, President Wickremesinghe toured the Poonreen Fort. Additionally, he visited the Vanni Cashew Production Company, a high-quality establishment in the Poonreen area. Observing its operations, the President highlighted that this industry company, managed by a young woman with a background in mechanical engineering, has generated employment opportunities for many youth affected by the war. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has reported an increase of 23.2% in Sri Lanka's official reserve assets from November 2023 to December 2023. Accordingly, Sri Lanka official reserve assets increased to $4.4 billion in December 2023 from $3.57 billion in November 2023. The Department of Railways says that the railway operations from Mahawar to Anuradhapura along the upcountry railway line will be suspended for 6 months from tomorrow. This is due to the renovation of the railway track. The Department of Railways says that trains will operate from Colombo Fort to Mahawar and from Kanke Santhrai to Anuradhapura. This is being done under the second phase of the project to modernize the railway line between Mahawar and Omande on the Northern Railway. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Phase 1 of the supplementary immunization activity to curb the spread of measles and protect vulnerable children across the country will commence today. The program is implemented by the Health Ministry in collaboration with UNICEF and the World Health Organization. Phase 1 of the project will prioritize the vaccination of children aged 6 to 9 months in 9 high-risk districts with a dense population and increased incidence of measles. Chief Epidemiologist Dr. Samitha Ginige said that the national program of giving extra doses of measles to children aged between 6 to 9 months in 9 selected districts will begin today. Currently, a measles epidemic is spreading globally in all countries of the world, including European and South Asian countries. With COVID, the entire childhood vaccination program suffered a major collapse globally, and as a result of which 25 million 2-year-old children around the world in 2020 and 2021 did not receive any dose of childhood vaccinations, and another 15 million received partial vaccinations. Japanese Finance Minister Shunichi Suzuki will visit Sri Lanka and Cambodia on a 4-day tour next week to strengthen Japan's relations with the two Asian countries. In Sri Lanka, Suzuki is expected to meet with Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe to discuss debt restructuring for the country. During his visit, he plans to address economic challenges and strengthen financial cooperation between Sri Lanka and Japan. The finance minister is expected to emphasize the critical need to advance debt restructuring efforts in Sri Lanka. State Minister of Power and Energy Indika Anuruddha announced that the necessary data for reducing electricity bills has been submitted to the Public Utilities Commission. As a result, a revision of the electricity bill is anticipated by the first week of February. Detailing the new generation plan, the State Minister highlighted a target to procure near 600 megawatts of electricity from renewable sources in 2024. State Minister Indika Anuruddha conveyed these updates during a media briefing at the Presidential Media Centre held yesterday under the theme Collective Path to a Stable Country. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
The Sri Lanka Navy intercepted a local multi-day fishing trawler carrying narcotics under 28 nautical miles west of Hikkadua. Acting on coordinated intelligence efforts by the Navy, Police, Narcotics Bureau and other intelligence services, a fast attack craft intercepted the suspicious fishing trawler. Upon being escorted to the Galle harbour last morning, it was inspected in coordination with the Sri Lanka Coast Guard, and over 245 kilograms of ice and heroin, valued over 3,190 million rupees, recovered from the trawler. 6 suspects involved in the illegal narcotics smuggling attempt were also arrested. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
This is Watchlight.
The National Water Supply and Drainage Board said that a stretch of the low-level road will be out of bounds for vehicular movement this weekend. Accordingly, the road will remain closed from Vallampitiya to Kotikavatta between 10 p.m. today and 5 p.m. on Sunday, that's tomorrow. The temporary road closure was attributed to the essential maintenance of the water supply line. And that was Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Supreme Court to rule if Trump can run for president. NRA Chief Executive Wayne LaPierre steps down. South Korea says North Korean leader's daughter likely his successor. Those are the headlines, and now the details. The U.S. Supreme Court has said it will hear a historic case to determine if Donald Trump can run for president. The justice agreed to take up Mr. Trump's appeal against a decision by Colorado to remove him from the 2024 ballot in that state. The case will be heard in February, and the ruling will apply nationwide. Lawsuits in a number of states are seeking to disqualify Mr. Trump, arguing that he engaged in insurrections during U.S. Capitol riot 3 years ago. The illegal challenges hinge on whether a Civil War-era constitutional amendment renders Mr. Trump ineligible to stand as a candidate. The chief executive of the U.S. gun lobby group of National Rifle Association has resigned, the organization has said. Wayne LaPierre, 74, will step down as of 31st of January after leading the NRA for more than 3 decades. His resignation comes days before a New York civil trial in which he and other senior leaders are accused of misusing NRA funds. In a statement, Mr. LaPierre said he remains a champion of the NRA. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's young daughter, who has accompanied him to missile tests and military parades, is his most likely successor, the South's spy agency has said. It is the first time the National Intelligence Service has acknowledged Kim Jong-il as Mr. Kim's heir. However, NIS said that it was still considering all possibilities in Pyongyang's succession plan. Ms. Kim has kept high profile since first appearing in public in late 2022. And back to the headlines of the world news. Supreme Court to rule if Trump can run for president. NRA Chief Executive Wayne LaPierre steps down. South Korea says North Korean leader's daughter likely his successor. And that ends world news.
Development news.
A pivotal meeting was held between Sri Lanka's ambassador to Japan, E. Rodney Pereira, and Finance Minister Suzuki at the Ministry of Finance in Tokyo, ahead of the latter's forthcoming official visit to Sri Lanka next week. The formal meeting was pursuant to a brief exchange between Ambassador Pereira and Finance Minister Suzuki during the garden party hosted by Their Majesties, the Emperor and Empress of Japan a month earlier. Expressing gratitude for the opportunity to meet Finance Minister, Ambassador Pereira extended his deepest appreciation to Minister Suzuki and his team for their visit and dedicated efforts towards assisting Sri Lanka's economic restructuring initiatives bilaterally and in the international arena. Ambassador Pereira also emphasized Sri Lanka's eagerness to modernize its economy, leveraging Japan's experience and expertise from both the government and the corporate sectors. The upcoming visit by Finance Minister Suzuki signifies an important milestone in fortifying bilateral relations and advancing Sri Lanka's economic prospects through collaborative efforts between the two countries. And that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
Cricket news. Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe ODI series begins today. Sri Lanka's opening batsman Pathum Nissanka has been ruled out of the upcoming ODI series against Zimbabwe due to a suspected dengue infection. The talented youngster Siobhan Daniel is likely to step in as his replacement. The three-match series kicks off at R. Premdas Stadium, adding an unexpected twist to the team's lineup. And that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Microsoft has announced the biggest change in its keyboards in 3 decades with the introduction of an artificial intelligence key. The key will allow users to access Copilot, Microsoft's AI tool, on new Windows 11 PCs. Microsoft is a major investor in OpenAI, which powers Copilot's AI capabilities. It integrated AI into other products such as Microsoft 365 and Bing Search in 2023. Rival Apple has included a Siri button or option on its touch bar in MacBooks for a few years. Copilot helps users with functions such as searching, writing emails, and creating images. In a blog announcing the change, Microsoft Executive Vice President Yusuf Mehdi said it would simplify and amplify user experience. The new keyboards are expected to be on new products from February. And that was business news.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. Tesla is recalling more than 1.6 million vehicles in China over issues with steering software and door locking systems, the country's regulator says. The recall includes its models S, X, 3 and Y and 7538 imported vehicles. That's 7,538 imported vehicles. The problems will be fixed by remote updates to software, meaning the vehicles will not need to be taken to dealerships or garages. It comes less than a month after Tesla recalled 2 million cars in the US due to autopilot software issues. In May last year, the Chinese regulator said more than 1 million vehicles may have acceleration and braking system issues. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
Several spells of showers will occur in the northern and eastern provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere after 2 p.m. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabragamu and central provinces during the morning. The public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. And that was the weather report. Prior to concluding, the headlines once again. The President says that the northern province will undergo complete development in the next 5 years under a comprehensive plan. Sri Lanka's official reserve assets increased by 23.2% in December last year. Japan's finance minister to visit Sri Lanka next week. Measles vaccine extra dose jabbed in 9 districts today. State Minister for Power and Energy affirms an electricity bill reduction in February. Navy seizes trawler with over 245 kilograms of heroin and ice valued over 3,190 million rupees. Foreign news: Supreme Court to rule if Trump can run for president. And in sports, Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe ODI series begins today. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And it's back to the main studio where Sonal is there. A very good morning to you, Sonal, and it's back to you.